Yo, what up, baby? Look, how you guys doing? I'm gonna start this video off with an apology because I don't know how to do it. I'm not good at being serious, okay? The Rivals team is personally gonna be watching this video, and I'm not really much a really serious guy. I always feel like the community, you guys have like way better ways on how to express things. I feel like y'all are smarter than me in a lot of things. There's a lot of smart people out there that could get their ideas out. And I'm a crash out. I say crazy things. I express myself sometimes angrily with how we feel. Sometimes y'all get mad and I'm an expression of y'all. You know what I'm saying? We go through the same things. You feel me? So they're definitely going to be checking things out. They sent out a cease and desist letter to the throwing website to shut them down. They also said that they know about the throwing discords. Niggas got discords to throw now. Weird. So the Rivals team said that it's more prominent and important to actually get community feedback, constructive criticism. And they said that they really enjoyed the way on how I deliver it, especially like with the community. So I don't know why, but I appreciate it because I don't change up how I talk. I still say nigga, even though they're going to watch, because that's just me. That's just where I come from. I just be vibing. But I know some people don't want to hear that. And that's why I look to the community to always speak, because I'm not trying to be that guy, because I'm not trying to switch up, So I really do appreciate y'all for, letting me vibe the way with how I am. I love y'all. So they're going to be taking feedback. A lot of people have great ideas to actually put in there to say, oh, and the Rivals team could look at it and be like, oh, we can add this to a quality of life, pick and pull from different people ideas to make a great update, even if it's for 7.5 or 8. So I want to keep the focus on the community. You know what I mean? Because a lot of content creators has been trying to collab with me as of late. And, I apologize for saying no to everybody, except the ones that y'all push me to. I apologize. And the reason is I just like being solo dolo. But I feel like all the focus should be on the community, because I feel like most of the content creators just regurgitate and say the same thing over and over and over again and say, boom, we dropped the video for the day. I want to give the community a voice to speak, or a chance to speak. And I hope the Rivals team enjoyed this one. I hope that you guys enjoy it, because I put a lot of work into it. And I was thinking about what could I do to make and let the Rivals team hear the community other than the comments. So I said, let the community get a chance to speak. And that's what I did. So I want to keep the focus. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I really do. And let me know if you guys want me to continue it for different seasons. I love y'all. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Look, if you guys were able to wake up today to see another day, it's a blessing for you to be able to change your tomorrow. Okay. I love y'all. But look, before we jump into it, look, let me say this. This is my second time recording the video. That's why I keep laughing. Because, bro, when I started, I was ashy as heck. And in the recording, I said, nigga, my community gonna roast me. Look like I lost a fight to a goddamn Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Let's start the video.
For context, this is my first hero shooter. I started playing Marvel Rivals about the same time last year. Obviously started in bronze, eventually climbed up to plat by this time this year, and my most played role that I have the most hours on is support. But I do flex like if it's needed. I just prefer support. My experience over time, this season, I would say it's been a bit difficult. I think balancing is something that everyone's been talking about for a while, and it's a really tricky topic because obviously you want, let's say from the support perspective, you want people to be able to defend themselves so that they can actually fight back, because the reality is not everyone can heal for you all the time. You need to be able to hold your own a little bit, and ideally your second healer should be able to help you with that. But at the same time, you don't want supports to be so overtuned that they're kind of going head to head with like every DPS or even like tanks in some cases. At the same time, you have DPS who kind of come into the game, and I noticed this cycle over and over where they kind of release DPS overtuned a lot of the time. I've seen it like with even Daredevil, even Phoenix was a bit overtuned on release. And then also, of course, Elsa Bloodstone, who's absolutely overtuned on release. I do think it's intentional. I think it's more of like a marketing tactic of like, hey, we're gonna create a stir, release this character, let people have their fun, let people get the buzz, And then at the next season, when the new character is on the market, we're going to nerf them to like make them more normal across the board. Or honestly, what I see more often is that rather than nerfing problem characters, they kind of go around over time buffing everyone else. And so it kind of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh, where the power ceiling raises over and over and over again. And then you kind of have characters who are there since release who kind of feel off meta, even though on paper those are good, solid characters. Like I lorded Mantis, I like to main Mantis, but in most comps, to have the combination of a team that knows what they're doing and knows not to take damage head on, as well as trying to play your character, it's really difficult to kind of have that cross section. But also, I think there's just a huge dependence on healing in Marvel Rivals in general. And you can really just see that by comparing it to any other game. Like you can look at League or you can look at Overwatch. When people play this game doesn't really teach you things like positioning. That's kind of like an extra resource that you have to go out and look for. But beyond that, I think a lot of people end up playing this game and rising in ranks in this game, just kind of taking damage head on and expecting you to kind of out heal the damage because healing is such a valuable resource in this game. And it's really, really, really easy to abuse. And so it kind of creates this situation where because healing is so dependent in this game, you kind of get the triple heal meta that everyone's been complaining about for a while. And everyone always talks about like nerf healers, like we got to get rid of triple support. And at the same time, as you said before, triple support's always going to be a thing. Because damage is crazy in this game. It's like we want to talk about healing numbers, like what about damage numbers? What about the fact that like Elsa gets overshield on every move? What about the fact that get Bucky gets overshield on every move, even before Elsa came out? you know? And so last season I was really dedicated to competitive because I like the game. The game's a big hobby for me. I like to look at balance. I like to practice every day. I play every day for about 2 hours. I like this hero shooter. It was my first one, and I wanted to get better. Um, but this season, I wasn't as motivated to play competitive because also, competitive isn't even competitive in my experience. If you are playing from bronze to platinum, it's really just who's getting rolled. And it's either you or not you. This kind of like black and white, like team fights exist in every game. It exists in quick play, it exists in competitive, and I think it also even goes beyond low metal ranks to high metal ranks as well. Uh, you're getting rolled on one side or the other. And if you're not getting rolled, you have a lever. And if you don't have a lever, they have a lever. It happens almost every game. It happens almost in all of my games, happened in my friend who's in bronze games, happens in my boyfriend's games who's in GM. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. This habit is universal. And I think that it also means that you can never really tell what your actual skill level is when you are trying to rank up. Like, I hit plat, but it also doesn't mean anything because what does it mean if every game there's a lever or if every game there's a smurf, you know? It doesn't mean anything.
I'm
Um,
not gonna lie. You cooked. Like
Thanks.
on every point, I made a face. I made a face. I was like, "Oh my god." That was a very well stated point. Jesus. Hello?
I'm really passionate about the game. This game introduced me to the Marvel fandom. It's introduced me to so many amazing characters. Obviously, it's a bit like this isn't like super personal, but I don't go outside a lot right now. Like I
Yeah.
just don't. This game is social for me. I love to go online, leave chat on, and like have the quickest interaction with someone one day and move on to the next match. Like it's nothing is expected out of me. I love this game. It's really fun. It's brought a new hobby to my life that I really appreciate. And that's why I would like to see it go on. I would not like to see it do what Yu-Gi-Oh is doing. I don't like that the barrier to entry is slowly getting higher and higher. And I also don't like that if you are someone who's been playing this game for a long time and you're not even a new player, you're getting turned away because you're kind of getting ignored for actual quality of life changes like balance. Why can I only block like 3 people out of my team when there's a thrower every game? Why, when I report someone for
Oh my god.
why is it that when I report someone for saying slurs, for throwing. At most they're getting 15 minutes and then they move on with their day. Why are people able, I mean, I know this kind of applies to you a little bit, but like why are people able to make like 7 different accounts where they can smurf on like 5 different roles
Who
and,
called you out?
you know, ruined like gameplay for other people. And I know smurfing's like a here and there kind of topic, but it really is a lot. Like,
It
I
is.
know some people try to tone it down by saying, "Oh, there's not a Smurf in your game every game," but it's like you have people who put Smurf in literally in their username. You have people who admit to smurfing. You have people who lose one round and then go 43-2 on Bucky, and then it's like, oh, what? Like they just Super Saiyan their way through the win. Most of the time, it's just like people smurfing, and it's not that big of a deal. But the fact that obviously you're able to make so many accounts and kind of like farm all these stats should tell you that there needs to be something stricter in place to actually keep the ranks as they're intended and keep them balanced. Imagine going into bronze and you're actually bronze level. Because the reality is, if you're in bronze, you kind of have to be gold plat to get out. you know?
That's very true because in a lot of rivals matches, you really, in order to climb, you got to be better than your rank, and it really shows a lot. Or you got to have people that genuinely is that rank, because a lot of people in rivals aren't the rank to where it says that they are, right? And it shows in the gameplay. Like a lot of people could say that they're gold, but they're not really gold. Or a lot of people could say that they're diamond 1. There should be a big skill gap between a diamond 1 who is almost GM and a diamond 3, and you could see it within the gameplay, the positioning. So a lot of those things do come to the forefront when you start to notice the player base and the people that you get matched with, because it changes a lot. You know what I mean? So it really, and that's one of the main reasons that go into balancing and getting the people in the right ranks they are, because somebody in silver could be diamond, somebody in silver 1 or whatever in freaking Overwatch could be GM in rivals. It's a lot harder in a lot of games to rank up, but in rivals you kind of get like a little pass. And I think that you definitely covered that like really well. I thought that was really well said, and I really do appreciate the insight. I did not even know you was gonna cook that hard. Genuinely, I did not know you was gonna
Thank you.
cook that hard. You hit so many key points. I was just kind of like, dang, bro. But I feel like it's important to hear the community of all ranks, to hear what you guys go through, and I think it's important. So I think that's fire. That was beautiful. That was well said. Thank you so much. Genuinely.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'll keep it there. And for the record, I solo queue. Like I don't queue with anyone. I don't stack with anyone. I solo queue. So that's it.
And what was your online name and rank again?
My online name is Nightcore. If I flamed you before, don't at me. um, and other than that, my rank was Plat 3. Thanks.
Okay, thank you
But it
so
might be in
much.
gold now, to be honest.
Okay.
At the same time.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. That was dope. Thank you. Thank you.
Add final hits
Excuse
to the
me.
screen.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, hey, I had an addendum to add if we have a second for it, but at the same time, I know Charity, you've been trying to go for a while, so would you like to
No,
go
no,
first or
no, you can go real fast. Go for it.
I can't stay the whole time. I have to go soon, and that's why I'm asking to
Oh,
add the
no
Okay,
addendum
worries.
yeah,
now. Is that okay?
go for it.
Beautiful things said from like everyone in here. Obviously, I think like the addendum that I wanted to add especially is I don't think that the way that Marvel Rivals is set up right now, that it even encourages team play. I think the way that the stats are set up and the way that you're ranked up is extremely individualistic and it encourages individualistic gameplay. And while I am not a game developer, the only thing that I can compare it to is with President. So you can look at President with Overwatch or League. And I think that if you either had stats that would encourage people to work as a team, rather than looking at individual performance and looking for someone else to blame. Because initially, I also wanted more stats to be able to break down gameplay. But at the same time, stats also just end up causing a lot of arguments because a lot of people go off numbers and kind of assume the in between of what they can't see rather than watching your actual gameplay. And so I think that, there's a lot of games that also implement a better tutorial system. I don't know how the Marvel Rivals tutorial was for you guys. Wasn't very helpful for me. It teaches you how to point and click and
Go
not
to the
really much
tutorial.
else. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I feel that. I feel that. Dang.
It teaches
Okay.
you how to point and click, and if you look at a tutorial for, like, League, for example, it tells you what is the point, what does it do? People don't even know that the point can heal you when you're pushing it. People don't even know that the point moves faster when you stand on it. These are things that they could break down and explain to you, but they just don't really, and that's also something that's really easy for them to implement. And I forget his name, but Spiderweb down there also kind of made the mention on how neutral gameplay isn't as important in Marvel Rivals as I think it should be,
Yeah.
because neutral gameplay is what teaches you how to play the game.
It's your
Really, this
fundamentals.
game, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to be good. I'm not talking about the individual mechanical skill because that's on the individual player and I can't comment on that. What I can comment on is if your game is aiding you in that or not. But what it does is that every season you have an ult merchant, because we saw it with Psylocke, we saw it with Star-Lord, we saw it with like Moon Knight, who probably doesn't even know what neutral gameplay is because he has his ult every 2 minutes. um, like it's the fact that like the game kind of is that cycle of like who's gonna get their ult first, and also the fact that people play this game on who can build ult the fastest.
True.
And
That's
I
true.
think it encourages a lot of individualistic gameplay as well as encourages less neutral gameplay. And I think if for people who want to play this game and keep this game alive, neutral gameplay has to be healthy because those are the people who are putting in hours. And at the same time, I think the fact that if you look at ult charge and you look at damage numbers and you look at support numbers, and we want to talk about neglected roles, there's a reason why no one wants to play tank. There's a reason why there's solo tank every game. And it's because this game absolutely does not work in your favor. You know, every role talks about like having their hardships, but if I'm going to point out a specific hardships, all you have to do is look at the pick rate. Look at the pick rate, and that will tell you what the hardships of this game are. And that's basically everything of my addendum. It was really nice hearing from everybody and talking to everybody. I have to go, but that's everything.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
To begin with, my name is Charity Cat. I'm a Celestial support DPS flex player on PC, peaking Celestial 2, but slowly playing less and less as time has gone on. I've been playing since Season 0, and I've been present for every season that Rivals has put out. I've had many grievances with the game over the months, and I think there are several solutions that would objectively help the game at this point, but I'd like to speak on 3 specific problems that permeate through most of the ranks of play at the moment. So, one of the biggest issues with Marvel Rivals is arguably the community itself. There are plenty of people throughout every single rank of play that can perform poorly, have bad synergy, are toxic over trivial matters, possess incredibly large egos, as well as demean their fellow players. A solution that could help dispel some of the chances of queuing into these individuals repeatedly would be to increase the amount of avoid slots we are given. Anywhere from 5 to 10 avoid slots over our current 3 avoid slots would be a massive help to our time spent in both ranked and quick play alike, giving players more agency over their experiences with the game, while also indirectly increasing the queue times for people who are toxic if enough people avoid them, giving them time to cool off or just time to decide to like stop queuing just for a short while and take a break, reset their mental. I believe players by and large are willing to sacrifice quick queue times if it means having a better experience.
That is very, I agree with that. I've heard a lot of players say that like you would be a lot happier about if the queue times was a minute more to sacrifice a better match experience with the integrity of the players that you're getting rather than the throwers, you know, that. And I want to add on to something. I know you have another point, but I wanted to ask you a quick question. How do you feel about if Rivals was to implement a system to where if you have a certain amount of throwing games and violations that they put you in a queue with other throwers?
I honestly think that that would be a great idea. It's similar to a system that was honestly implemented back in the old days of Grand Theft Auto 5, where if cheaters were found to be cheating, they would be put in lobbies with fellow cheaters. Same thing with people who are throwers or who are consistently toxic, and you start to isolate them in their own little community so that way they can like try to incentivize them. Okay, if I want to have good teammates or if I want to have reciprocal teammates, I need to do the same. I think it would be a great idea.
Okay, that's fire. Okay, my bad. Go ahead and continue with your next one.
All right. So a second issue that I know many people across all ranks generally agree upon is that there are too many overpowered characters in the game at the moment. And while many people will have their own personal takes on what needs to be buffed or nerfed, one thing that I'd recommend is increasing the amount of available bans within the competitive game mode. In a mode where there is more to lose upon defeat, bumping up the amount of bans from 2 to 3, as well as making a system that would roll back double bans, would all would, similarly to my last point, increase the amount of player agency within matches, allowing players to customize their games better. While the dev team is figuring out what the most effective way to stabilize the meta is, even intentionally tipping the scales to one particular play style, such as dive or poke in previous seasons, we as players can help negate what we determine to be unhealthy for our games.
True. That's true. Because a lot of what it comes down to is, like I've said before, the players are the game testers, right? So a lot of the information and the knowledge and the feedback that the devs are getting, even with pick rates and all of this, they're learning all of that from the player base. So the player base is doing this without even knowing what they're doing to give the devs the information on who to ban, what they're going to focus on, and the meta shifts and who is the meta, which is a main part of, like, when you get the dev breakdown, they talk about quickly and briefly, like, oh, these characters was very strong in the meta and da-da-da. So in a lot of times when you see the devs speak about that and they and they nerf incorrectly to not change the meta, but yet still add to it, is very strange to me. Like, these characters was very dominant this season, and moving forward, we still didn't nerf them, but we buffed them in a separate way to make them stand out even more, which is a big turn off for a lot of the players, So, but yeah, great point. I wanted to add on to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine. And lastly, my third and final point, I would like to address the game's technical performance and a potential way to help mediate it. This also ends up linking in with my previous point prior. I would propose that NetEase creates a playtest build, or a PTB for short, and allow trusted, loyal, and creative players to join, test buffs, nerfs, new characters, new maps, new game modes, etc., to both give feedback for changes, as well as report bugs and glitches for optimization purposes, helping the developers drop more community-aligned patch notes to benefit the longevity of the game. Players in these PTBs can be rewarded with exclusive items, currencies, skins, badges, or titles, all to help incentivize players to interact with the devs more. There can also be an implementation of polling systems within these groups to better decide what they would like to see the most out of these patch notes and what should be adjusted or removed. There are many players who care about the lifespan of the game and want to see it grow. And I think that these players specifically would be the perfect candidates for such a PTB if it were implemented, and could even further help communicate grievances from the community, similar to how Rio is doing for us today. Which leads me to wanting to say thank you, Rio, for having us come and offer feedback and helping our voices be heard in this way. We all appreciate it greatly.
Nah, genuinely. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even have to say much. You it's like just random. We wanted to do this, and you guys, like, absolutely, like, seriously cook, like, from the feedback. Like, it just genuinely means a lot. But I think it's more important when it's coming from just everybody in the community, even though the content creators are a part of the community, but our individual mindsets and things could be skewed to making it for a video or making it for just individual gain. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's important to hear from you guys, because the points that I'm hearing, I'm just like, dang, I'm just like, absolute cook, because you see the frustration. And I think it's important to get that from the likelihood of each different ranks, because each players are going through different things, but you see a lot of the similarities at the same time. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys. That was amazing.
Of course.
Yeah. Now you cooked. Okay. And your charity cat on PC in Celestial that plays Rocket, and for some reason always gets your alt against Gene or something like that, right? That was the
yeah, just quick 30 seconds, another amp, another 30 seconds, another amp. It's just what I do. I try to be Flark and helpful.
Flark and helpful. Nah, that was fire, bro. Oh my god, that was tough.
My online name is Damir8, and I'm in C1. Okay. Kind of just doing to C2, but I feel like there's a lot of issues with the community right now and the game. I feel like they all still stem from comp. Like all the issues with quick match and people just sweating so hard in quick match and I don't know, like triple support 2 tanks or triple tank in every quick match game. That also stems from competitive issues.
I don't want to interrupt. Just a quick
Because there's
question. Wait, there's
yeah
triple tanks in quick play? I don't play quick play.
Yeah.
yeah
Quick play, triple tank, triple support.
What?
yeah yeah. For some reason in comp games, I get to solo tank for triple DPS or triple support every game, but everyone wants to go triple tank in quick match. I just feel like for comp, there's not a lot of things you can do to make it fun, except actually making it separate comp modes for casual and competitive. Because some people only queue comp so that they can get the season skins or the season nameplates, and you can tell that they only want to play like 10 games and hop off. They only want to get to gold or above and get those nameplates and skins. I feel like they should just separate competitive for those people who want the skins and stuff like that, and the people who actually want to get better in Q2, Eternity, and Celestial and top 500. Because otherwise, people don't have fun in the game.
So
Half of the team wants to sweat and win the game. The rest just want to play the game. They don't care if they win or lose. They just want the completion reward.
So do you feel like the reason why quick play, because you're C1, so do you Celestial 1, so do you feel like the reason why quick play is sweaty is because of the experience in rank that pushed people away, so the sweaties are now in quick play?
Yeah, and it's just so much things in rank. Like, I don't know, I communicate a lot in game. I'm usually the only one that has a mic on and IGLs. And like I don't say any slurs. I do curse a little bit, but the system is really annoying, and even if you curse, it mutes you for a day or it gives you a warning. And that's also a little bit annoying. Like it discourages people from talking, discourages team play.
That's a good point,
Meanwhile,
because I
some
do feel
dude,
like the voice chat is too strict.
yeah, and then some dude can say the hard R 50 times in a game, nonstop, or just yell the entire time, and he's not gonna get muted. I report him, he's not gonna get muted a single time. So it's just really inconsistent, and people are just tired of it. And balancing is also like so many people just want to play their characters that they're comfortable on. And I didn't used to be a person that's like flaming you if you play Wanda or Score Girl or Widow in ranked, because I want people to have fun. I want people to be on a character that they're comfortable on. But it's really hard to do that when the characters are horrendous, because the balancing, I can understand that not all characters are going to be good. Not all characters are going to be meta. But when these characters have been D tier and F tier for around 7 seasons,
good point,
and nothing changes, it's just
so
the people
you
that
want it
play
to
those
be,
characters. Yeah.
you want it to be more of like a shakeup, you say, from your experience. You want
Yeah.
some of the lower characters to make it to not just S tier, but more so in the middle of usable without being the meme characters of everybody calling them bad. I mean, that's very fair. That's a fair take.
Like I don't need them to be A tier or S tier. I just want them to be B tier. Like I feel like everybody in this game should be A tier through C tier. Otherwise, it's never fun for anyone.
Okay,
like the people that play Jeff and Wanda.
There's so many characters that's limited to the rank that they can get to because of the kits that they have. Yeah. Okay.
And I just kind of feel bad for those people because, you just want to hop on the game, and I guess you do want to have fun while still winning, but there's no way to do that with Wanda or any of those characters, Ultron, because they're D tier. Nobody's ever gonna play him and win, unless you got an insane team comp.
And one of the things that you brought up was balancing. I feel like balancing, I'll always say, it's such a tough and tricky subject / topic, because we could just say balancing, but what could they do? Because balancing also incorporates like the player's mindset, right? So when you have the player's mindset that kind of goes into balancing, and you know, you have some people that really care and is passionate about learning how to be fundamentally better, and those players want to evolve to get to a certain point, then you have the balancing of just people that's just playing for fun, which playing for fun and playing to win should be the same thing. But there's a lot of people who just checks out and don't care to win as long as they're just on the game for the day. The thing about balancing is that balancing is never going to be better in a sense of like fixing the game. The only thing is, because every game deal with balancing issues, right? It's just the issue across mainly all 99% of online games. One of the main issue though with Rivals, when people say that balancing is a problem or balancing is an issue, is that you need to, well, Rivals has to fix balancing to where it's bearable, because it's unbearable in a lot of senses, and you can feel it in Rivals. Just get it. We don't want it to be perfect. We just want it to be to where you get more like-minded people, or people that's really in your rank. And it's just, we talk about balancing because there's people that's really not Grandmaster. There's people that's really not Celestial, that the system is just pushing up in rank because they're playing, but they don't really meet the criteria. And it's hard to say what meets the criteria, but if players were really in their real rank, a lot of them wouldn't be at the rank that they are today. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
I feel like what you mentioned about like people just, I don't know, people wanting to have fun and wanting to win being the same thing. I feel like that is true for a lot of people, but not all of them, because some of them just want to go Jeff, have fun with the enemy team, emote the entire time, and I don't know, get their 10 wins per season, just so they can get the placement reward.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just a lot of disconnect like that. And another big problem is just, yeah, poke meta has been insane for the past, I feel like since the game ever started.
What do you feel
It's
like
just been
at being
poke and poke.
C1? At being C1, what do you feel like is the biggest issues that you deal with at that rank?
I feel like egos, like so many people queue up in the game and have egos. I play tank. I don't wanna deal with people's egos, but I kind of like have to stroke their egos.
Yeah, yeah.
Because everyone thinks they're the best. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm gonna carry on DPS. I'm gonna go triple DPS. I'll be the best one. And it's just really frustrating because nobody ever wants to play as a team.
That's a
And then the
big
lower
point.
ranks, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing as a team in this game, that's something that Rivals can't really fix with matchmaking or balancing. I feel like the only way to incorporate that is if there's some kind of way to add it to where, you know, the matchmaking was where you got more people that was supposed to be in your rank by actually
Yeah.
playing, then you would have more like-minded people, you know, because if you play other games, whenever you're in a certain high rank, you get more people that want to play to win because they care about their rank, you know, and you can't balance that other than make it to where the system doesn't just make it to where it's easier to rank up, you know. And one of the things that I want to touch on real quick before we end this up is because you say you're a tank player in C1, and
Yeah.
the really tough thing is how tanks get less rank points, which I
Yeah, that's
think
the
is,
most frustrating thing.
it's so
Yeah.
annoying. So it's like if you're a determined tank player, you got to work harder to get through the ranks to actually get to where you need to be, while other roles are ranking up faster because they're getting more points. You got to go above and beyond to even try to equal up to what other people are getting, and you need MVP almost every game, you know? So I wanted to touch on that and just wanted to know what you think.
Yeah. And even if I get MVP or SVP, I still lose more points and gain less points than my DPS that popped off, even though I bubbled them the entire time and body blocked and just sacrificed myself for them. Like, it doesn't matter what I do, it won't show up in the stat sheet.
Oh,
There's assists, but I don't feel like assists show the whole story. Like, assists on mag are easy, but there's no same thing for Emma blocking an ult, or Strange blocking an ult,
and I
and
think,
even on mag, yeah.
so great point. I think that the devs, which is something that I talked to the Rivals team about, is incorporating the end stat sheet in game, but add more to what really showcases a good tank or a good healer,
Yeah.
which is like people will say, oh, I've been healing all game. You got a lot of stats that say you're healing. But in the moments to where I needed critical heals, you were not around, but you still have a great stats. You know, it's kind of like doing big blocks, like on an Angela going to go block, like a Magneto throwing down his bubble. I mean, his ult.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Desert Show, you know? So, yeah, it's really important.
And
That's
if
a
they
great
had like
point.
a system, if they had like a system where you could see, oh, if the tank didn't block this ult, 5 people would have died or 3 people would have died.
Yeah.
That would be great for like showing the real impact of tanks, and that way you can gain more points and you can make tanks feel more appreciated. That's just what I'm thinking about.
And I'll end it with this. The best way to do that, which is something that I talked about a while back in a video, is individual performance for the characters, for the players, rather than just making it about wins. You know, if you was to focus, Overwatch had a system to where like when you were on fire, that, you know, like when you're doing so great and you get moved up based on your individual performance. And I think that is something that would really do this game justice, especially like when more and more characters come out, they're going to have to incorporate another rank or whatever the case may be. But that was some really good points that I wanted to hear right there. That was nice. That was nice.
Thank you so much, Rio. I love your videos. You make me feel appreciated as a tank main, man.
I genuinely appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. And thanks for holding it down in C1, bro. Like fighting for your life.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Hey, anytime. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Daily Vigilante. I'm Plat 3. I play a Vanguard. And it's been hard. Yeah. Hearing triple support is like, triple tank is like new to me. I've played only solo tank every time I've played this entire season. It's been rough, and I feel like specifically with things like the stat sheet needs to be updated, like staying on the cart in time, taking a position, taking up space, things like those need to be held down on the stat sheet, and they're not.
Facts.
I chose to rank up my girlfriend at one time, and it really sucked because I MVP'd 9 matches in a row, and I was still ranked below her.
Whoa, wait, what role is your girlfriend? I don't want to assume that she's a healer.
I'm sorry, you should. She is a healer. She plays solid every once in a while.
Okay.
And barely.
Okay.
And she pretty good with Cloak and Dagger. I can't hate.
Cloak is really strong this season too. Like super strong.
Yeah.
Like
really I was a Thing player, and I had to switch over to Venom so I can survive a bit longer. Then I had to switch up to even something a bit bigger, and now I'm playing Groot. Just so I could be a plushy tank so I can get bullied.
What do you feel like is the main issue with solo tanking in the game while playing in Plat? Like, what is that experience like whenever you're playing solo tank? Is it that you're primarily getting more triple heals or triple DPS? Like, what's stopping it from people?
A lot of times it's either one of the two. Triple support is very funny in the case that it could be very beneficial on my side, but at the same time, they also leave room for actual players that don't know what they're doing. Like, it's such a crutch that a lot of these players actually don't gain that much benefit trying triple support at times and leave me to do more work regardless. With triple DPS, it becomes the case where you just can't get an extra tank, and you would ask them to step up, take some more picks or something like that. And when you're taking so much damage, you can only do so much. Your HP, you can't ask the supports to do too much because the supports already have to do so much at the same time. And I understand that now.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Because
but when I'm leaving a match with 70,000, I came out of that match with 72,000 damage blocked. 20 kills, 7 deaths, and I lost. And you feel some type of way. And then having to work harder to just rank up in the first place also adds to it.
I'm not gonna lie, you said something that was very like simple there, but it says a lot, which is you feel some type of way, and that is important in between all ranks because it's how most people in this game that cares feel. Because whenever you feel a certain type of way from trying, and you don't get that type of like feedback from your supporting cast, it makes you feel weird because you're just like, dang, I'm trying my best, and it makes you hate the people that you get matched up with. But in a lot of senses, it's just because you want to grind out of that rank, but you're with other people that's just on the game to be on the game. And it's not a problem to be on the game, but you have people that come home from work that gets on the game, get a little quick 1 hour to 2 hours to play after they then spend time with family, and they want to try to rank up without going on a losing spree, you know? So, and to point that out, it's like, it's not that players need to win. It's just that you want to at least work hard to win with your peers and your people around you. But a lot of times in matches, you don't feel like you have like-minded individuals that want to do that with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's two main things that I feel like this community is really losing at this point.
Okay.
Is like the ability to talk. Like, you can get on the mic and just ask for something very simple, and they will all be crashing out at you. Literally throwing sometimes just because you asked a simple thing.
That's so true. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a new gaming thing to where people hate. I feel like most of these people don't play team-based games, so they think it's aggressive or mean in some capacity. But this
Rio,
is
you be mad nice. You be mad. Your voice just change up when you hop on the game. I'll be like, whoa.
Hey, I keep telling people I gotta put a lot of estrogen in my voice to get them to listen to me. Like, I'll be talking sometimes. I'll be like, "Yo, bro, can you switch? How about you change your tone next match?" I'm like, "Hi guys, do you mind switching for me, please?" You gotta do something. You gotta sound like you're not a threat, you know. But
the second main problem I feel like we're really losing out on, and like all the ranks past this, and like the real game sense. I played this game when it came out day one because it came out on my birthday.
Okay.
And what I really thought this game was meant to be was a game where you can play with imaginable amounts of comps, crazy amounts of different types of teams, and really letting some things stick. But they're now trying to push a mold with the way they balance certain characters. And they also have left a leeway of too much damage and too much support. Healing to a point where supports now have to be heal bots. They don't get to extra bonuses of being unique in their own ways to not have healing. Like, Gambit could easily be a good support and not have the healing part of his ult. And most of his other changes wouldn't even be needed. Rocket probably needed more damage on his thing, but he didn't need to be a heal support either. Things like those.
I want to wrap this up, and I'm going to tell you where you cooked. Let me tell you where you just cooked. You cooked so hard. Like, if you said it and made it seem like it was simple. It was such a major cook. When you said the game, when you got on, it was supposed to play all these roles. That's what it was intended, for you to just come up with crazy amount of team synergy, team comps, unique team comps that other people aren't trying. That's the difference between this and Overwatch with role lock, right? Role queue. And that's the main appeal to this game. And you said something so beautiful, is that as the meta has gone on, instead of you having the freedom to pick different characters and unique team compositions, you're forced to play the meta, which feels like role queue, because every single team keeps going, and the higher up you go, they have the same team comp. You have the same triple heals, you have the same triple DPS. Or the diversity isn't really there with the unique gameplay of what people are doing. It's like they've capped themselves from creativity. You know what I mean?
I really know what you mean. And I would also want to say thank you for all your videos, and I love all your streams.
Bro, it's all love, man. I appreciate y'all, bro. 100%. Thank you. That was a cook.
Thank you.
That was a cook. Okay, that was a cook, nigga. I might do this shit more.
All right, so my console rank is GM3, and my PC rank is Plat 3, right?
Okay.
So my biggest concern right now, like, this is my first ever hero shooter. Well, technically, I played a little bit of Overwatch, but that doesn't really count for me. I come from like NBA 2K and all the nigga games and shit. But my biggest concern so far that I've noticed is like, I really think the game needs like a global ult charge, like a lot less, like 40% or something. I feel like there's a whole lot of like a whole like I feel like there shouldn't be an ult every game. I feel like it kind of becomes like a ultimate rivals, and it's not like Marvel rivals. I feel like we kind of need a more neutral game. And
Okay.
and then also I feel like we also do need a lot less damage and healing overall too, to make team fights matter a little bit more, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of characters get bailed out. Like I remember like Psylocke used to be all farm demon every game, nothing else. She has no value anywhere else but the ult. A lot of supports are like that. No, like you win a team fight off of a Luna ult or whoever else, a Gambit ult. A lot less of all that. And then I think my last idea is I really want supports to be less heal bots and more like literal strategists. Like I would like every support to have like their own little niche. Like there's a support whose specialty is CC, a support whose specialty is anti heal, a support whose specialty is shields, whatever it is. I would really like a lot less heal botting, but and like the first girl said, like the heal botting has kind of like trained players into playing in a way where we all think we're just immortal. Nobody plays coverage properly.
True.
Nobody is doing these basic shooter things properly. We all think we're immortal. We're all running around doing whatever, and we're not like paying attention as much. I feel like
You just said
but those are all
something
my ideas.
that was a major cook, and I want to elaborate on that if you don't mind. One of the things that you cooked on that I felt like was just so nice is Marvel Rivals really shows you that and every healer is going to understand this because they hate it, is how if you're a healer, you have people that don't play corners. They don't peek because they just stand there, and DPS think that they're a tank. And the thing that people don't understand is whenever you play a support, if a DPS is just standing there taking damage and you're suddenly just heal botting the support, it takes away from the survivability of the tank that's up there taking a lot of damage, because the DPS is being so selfish, being a damage sponge, that they're taking the attention away from the healer. Because if you move away from them, you're down one because they die, because they don't know how to play positioning. And I think the thing that you said was so cool is playing other games like shooters, Call of Duties, other games that teach you fundamentals about how to not just run out there. It feels like a lot of these players never played those games. That's a good point. Okay. That's a real good point, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Oh, I have a question. Quick question before you go. How's the difference between console? What's the major difference that you feel from coming over from console to PC?
So, I mean, the major difference is like the hero pool. It's like a whole different world, I feel like. And then also I feel like on console, in low elo, it's so much easier to grind up. Like I think in the metal ranks, like I flew through bronze, silver, like I did all of that in like 2 days. Right now.
Wait, and that was on console?
Yeah, on console.
Okay,
on console.
Okay.
And on PC, it's a lot more difficult. There's different heroes, a lot more hit scan, things of that nature. But also, I feel like the teams on console are just a lot more. Players on console are a lot more willing to play together than on PC. That's my biggest thing. Yeah, in my own personal opinion.
Okay, personal opinion. Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, bro. Thank you so much. What was the name and rank again?
Oh, my name is Cam, and on Rivals, on console, I'm 1 game away from GM3. On PC, I'm 1 game away from Plat 3.
Hey, bro, thank you so much. And I want to say that one game might take you a couple more seasons, because we know throwers. Yeah. But nah, bro, thank you so much. Thank you.
My name's Midnight. Usually on most of my games, I go by You Matter. My rank currently is Diamond, between Diamond 3 and Diamond 1. I'd say really like everybody kind of touched on all the points I kind of had, but I say like some things like I'll start off with like banning, right?
Okay.
The ban system in the game, like I've come to kind of like just like test it out, whether I'm like queuing by myself or queuing with some of my friends. when I'm queuing into a match and the bans pop up and everybody's clicking like the same character, if you don't think that like the other team is also over there clicking the exact same character, you're probably stupid, right? Like almost every game you're playing, Gambit's getting banned, or Invis, or Hela, or Moon Knight, or Phoenix, or whatever, right? So if you know that like all these characters are up to getting banned, not everybody on the team should be clicking the same exact character to where now all you're looking at is just 100%. Oh, this character is who you're banning, right?
Should be a little bit more thought out / communicative.
Yeah. So like when I'm going into matches and I'm communicating like, hey, let's not all click Gambit or let's not all click Moon Knight or whatever. Half the people click this, half the people click that or whatever, right? To kind of like get to try to avoid getting the stupid like double ban system that's in the game now, right?
Yeah.
And people just kind of like throw that shit out the window or whatever, and like and now next thing you know, everybody's clicking the same fucking character for no reason. We get a double ban, and people want to sit there and complain the whole match. Like it's stupid.
The main thing that comes down to is it's just ignorant community. You know?
Yeah. And then another point was I think that there's too much CC in the game right now.
Good point.
Like,
good point.
Characters that, like BP, for example, right? He's almost unplayable. Or rather, when you're trying to learn him, he's pretty much unplayable, right? Because almost every character has an ability that just stops him effectively, like just ruining his dash. So he doesn't get a dash reset. So he's just sitting there, like dead in the water. And so with that, I think something that they could do, right? Instead of dropping like 2 characters a season, right? Like dropping one during the start of a season, then one for the like 0.5 update. It should be rather you drop the new character at the beginning, and then for the 0.5 update, you rework a character that isn't doing well, right? So like Blade or Black Panther. Because right now it just looks like they're in the game, but they're just like a throw pick for they're just like a fill in a spot that really they shouldn't even have right now, just because like they're almost unplayable outside of like the top 1% of people who have played this character since they were released and like don't really play anything else.
So I want to piggyback off of what you just said. So basically what you're saying is we'll just give a number. So let's say for every main number season, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's a character drop, right?
Yeah.
And then every 0.5, it's basically a patch note season to where they heavily fix and go over each character and kind of like address what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of tough. That's kind of fire.
And I think like another thing is there's like some pointless team ups in the game. like some team ups that like they serve really no purpose. Like the Bucky and I hate Jeff's team up with Storm. I love Storm and I play Storm a lot, but having to sit there and try to coordinate my ult with the Jeff for them to mess it up every time.
Oh, and not combine it.
It's just like bro, let me ult and then you just click this button to add on to it, because if you don't swallow anybody, you ruined everything. But yeah, like that's one team up that I'd say is like either like feast or famine, whether you kind of get anything out of it. But then there's some others where I just don't see the purpose in them at all. Like Winter Soldier and Captain America's team up. Like I've never seen that team up like do anything really at all, like in the match. And then the Rocket and Jeff with group team up, most of the time, by the time they like jump on group shoulders,
okay,
they're gonna die. Right? Because like now, because everybody's already
at the beginning. Like everybody was doing it, it didn't know, like it was God tier at the beginning.
But like now it's like because nobody knows kind of like high priority and everybody just shoots the tanks. The second Jeff or Rocket jumps up there, Groot's already about to die. And so now instead of, being in the back line where you're at least a little bit safe, you're just gonna fall down and like die right next to him. Yeah, I mean, like, other than that, I'd say like everyone else kind of like touched on really everything. There's this other point that I had where it's like I'll win 2 games and I won't want to queue another one like after that. Like I'll win those 2 games and I'll feel so drained and felt like those last 2 matches, even though I'm up and I could be right on the rank up. It's just like I want to ride this high as long as possible.
Cause it goes away quickly.
Yeah, because I know the next match, like I'm gonna get somebody who throws or somebody who isn't doing so well, and you say that, and now they took that shit to heart, and now we're all gonna lose this match right now.
Yeah,
it's like,
I get that.
It's like the egos and stuff like that. It's just like it's too much. It's like it's
rank
a team-based
anxiety,
game,
bro.
Yeah, it's a team-based game, and yet nobody wants to play as a team. Which somebody else said that earlier, and I think that because of how strong like individual characters are, that they main, right? So like characters like Moon Knight or Hawkeye or like Hela, things like that, like those like just DPS only players who they pick those characters and they get MVP in one match or whatever, but this other match they're doing poorly and somebody calls them out on it and they're like, oh, but I have ace. It's like, yeah, but you have ace, but you're not fighting with your team though. Like you're going in when we're all dead.
See, the ace,
like you're getting like those 1 picks and stuff.
No, that's true. The ace conversation is just so crazy just because the MVP system is just so bad. I feel like it doesn't really justify the means of how the players are playing or what they're doing. I feel like it's too easy to captivate based on the character that you're playing, not more so than based on how you're playing correctly within the positioning, the getting picks and not just final hits, but as a tank, blocking a tank ult, protecting a healer, bubbling a healer, bubbling a DPS that's about to die, doing some clutch heals, keeping people up at the important moments, ulting at the right times, stopping a support ult, interrupting somebody's ult. Those are like clutch things that I feel like should really add to the MVP system that doesn't, because it prioritizes damage, block, damage, and final hits, so it's kind of like it's too lackluster and it doesn't have enough depth to match how the players are playing, and I feel like it should be updated. Now, at first, when the game came out, I feel like it made sense because it's fun. You're getting that little dopamine. But as players are progressing and playing the game, it should be more so tailored to playing and doing more incentivized team play and doing the right thing and stopping clutch moments than anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, I'd say with things like that, like most people don't know that certain character abilities could like actually be used differently, right? So Namor's bubble. I don't use Namor's bubble as like kind of like running away from a fight sort of thing. Usually if they have like a mag on the other team,
the block,
I'll use my Namor bubble to block for my healers.
Being creative with it, you're saying being more creative. Okay.
Yeah, like I feel like people lack kind of like they'll watch a YouTube video and they'll follow what the same person does,
the same narrative, the same like end goal for it, and not just be more creative on the fly, So I get that. Okay. Hey, bro. All right, good points, my boy. Good points. I appreciate that, my boy. Okay, rank and where do you play again? Name?
My rank is Diamond, and my name is You Matter.
Okay, I appreciate that, too. Thank you, bro.
All right, so my name is Sergeant Doomer. You guys can just call me Doomer for short. I play on PlayStation. I'm currently a returning player, GM this season. Celestial is my peak for 2 seasons
Okay.
prior. I mean, everyone hit a lot of good points, and there's a lot of good things I liked from this conversation. One of the main ones I think we've all touched upon is player mentality. That is a massive one, especially when it comes to the competitive scene of this game. It is like, man, like there's too many examples that we all can share, and we just know, right? I think it's a plague of the casual mentality, which is completely fine. We know that this game is more lenient toward or leaning towards casuals, but it's the fact that the casual mentality has plagued ranked, right? Which is what we, for most of us ranked players, have an issue with, right? And it's not just the how it used to be a low elo thing where it's like people are like, oh, you know, that's just gold and plat. When you climb higher, it changes. No, it has spread like a contagion, like I said,
So
to all of ranks, and it's really bad. And going into that in depth, it has fundamentally changed a lot of things, such as forced metas, right? Like you can only play like Rio. We've seen many of your reels where it's like, oh, we need a shield tank, and it's like, bro, like we're running dive, and like, why are you, Mr. Punisher, running to the far left and knowing you're not going to get any picks? Like, like the things that don't make sense when people try to force you to play a certain way to accommodate their bad habits and bad fundamentals, right? You know, like one of my favorite things to do, or one of my favorite strategists, I'm a strategist main. I love playing Ultron, right? I mean, Loki's my number one
So you're a
strat. I've been
Loki
playing him
main.
since season
Explain to me
1.
why you like playing Ultron. Talk to me.
I like he's different. Now, as we all know, right now he is very bad compared to other strategists. But I like his play style, right? Things about we love about this game is that each character has a different play style and a character expression. Even though his heals is bad, I love the fact that he's more DPS prone. So as a strategist, I really value that. So if I need to swap off of just being a regular
heal bot,
regular healer, right? A heal bot, a burst healer, I can go to a hybrid healer, which is Ultron, which is my number one pick, right? And I love the fact that, and this goes with the player mentality and play styles, right? I've gotten a lot of games where being a heal bot is not the answer, and the moment you swap off, right, I go to Ultron or I go to Adam. Why are you switching? And it's like, because we're not getting the DPS need help, or maybe the tank needs help, and the tank needs more pressure because the current DPS are doing good, but it's not enough, right? And the player mentality has forced such a negative aspect of the game where you can only play these certain characters, or to not pay attention to a play style of a particular player that's trying to help them in a certain way, right? To force certain outcomes of the battle. And but to answer your question, like I said, I love Ultron because he's a different level of strategist that really just changes the outcome if you play him correctly, and your team can accommodate with that, right?
I want to say something just so you don't lose that point, just to add on. I feel like
go for it.
Ultron really changes the course of the game, and it's hard to play him at low ranks and at certain ranks because it forces a player who is not used to playing cover and not used to standing there taking big damage to where they don't know how to peak. And Ultron forces that from teams, but a lot of people would think he's actually dog water, especially metas where he was really good. In metas where he was really good, a lot of people still used to say he was garbage because they stand out there and just take too much damage when you're supposed to peak, because his playstyle is peaking, you know, and that's the main thing about him. So yeah, all right, to add on to that.
Yeah, no, I think that goes with many characters, right? What majority of us have an issue with. You expressed this with tier list, right? One of my favorite DPS, and everybody can say what you guys want. I love Wanda, right? Even though, and the problem with when it like comes to the tier list, right? Like you see a lot of tiers I've seen since Wanda's release have been she's like C tier at best, right? And it's understandable. Her damage isn't there besides her current team up with Strange, right? When she has a Strange team up. But what I love about her is her neutral gameplay, right? And she is fundamentally so good at what she does. Like, yeah, she doesn't require aim, and they accommodate that with less damage, right? But she's so good at taking the heat off of when your team's getting backlined, right? For those divers, she's so good at that, and she's a burst DPS because of her kit. But and she's so good at the neutral gameplay, but most people will consider her low tier because of what we have. We have Elsa, we have Moon Knight, we have so many people who do massive amounts of damage compared to her that she just looks, in comparison, bad, right? But she has value. And to summarize this point, right, of the force mentality or the casual mentality with metas and stuff, is that a lot of the fan base, the player base, will say, "Oh, she's garbage," and then completely eradicate a lot of these picks as values. And some of them you can agree with, like, yeah, Blade's in a terrible spot right now compared to other DPS as a whole. But there's still value in some of these characters. What else was I gonna say?
I'm gonna piggyback off that for you catch your next point. So you
Go
can
for
catch
it.
your next point. It's very important what you said. Value is extremely important. Like, you can pick a S tier character, and based on what you're going through, you're not getting no value on them. But you could pick somebody simpler and still get value because it's easier. You're a good player. Easier kit. You don't have to do as much aiming or whatever, and you can bully the other team. Like, I had people that switched to Jean to Peel, just because they want to play hit scan and isn't getting no value with protecting with Jean. But if you pick somebody like a Wanda, it's just easy. You just don't have to do nothing. It's not as rewarding to you as a hit scan player, but it's value, which is what you need in order for your team to progress and move forward. Sometimes you got to make the game simple for you and make the win simple rather than making the win hard, because it is a team game at the end of the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that kind of goes into my next point, my next segue, with stat sheets, right? Or we have our stat sheet analytics player base too, right? And everyone touched upon that of, like, there's been many times where I've had a Bucky who hasn't gone, he hasn't had like 20 final hits, but those 10 final hits he had have made all the difference. And then other people within the party will be like, man, this Bucky sucks, he only has 10 final hits. And it's like, that's crazy, because we like, yes, I understand there's only so much that the stat sheets are showing to everybody, but were you guys not paying attention, right? Was anybody not paying attention to what the Bucky was doing during the match? And a lot of people don't watch VOD, so it's the obvious no.
Yeah.
But, like, people, once again, right, it goes to the people who are providing value overall, whether their play style or the character they choose. Like, I'm not expecting a Wanda player to get 30 final hits, but man, when that enemy Spider-Man or that enemy Cap was just backlining me too hard on Loki, or the DD, right, and I can't get away, her help was definitely necessary in those moments, and I was watching, right? So she was providing value, right?
Okay.
It's those things that people just don't in game that really makes me upset when it comes to stat sheets. They're not paying attention to the overview of the entire situation, right? Or they think that these stats,
because
yes,
even though you're not getting the kill in a lot of sense, because people don't understand what value is. People think that value is getting the kill. Value is making it hard for the other team to also get any value. So if they're diving in, like you said, like a Cap, and you got the Wanda and Strange team up back there, and the Cap is jumping back there, Cap's value decreases because he can't stay back there. He can't create the distraction that he wants. You can stay on his shield, break the shield, he jumps back out. His value then lessens to where he would want to pick another character because you're keeping him out, which means that your team is able to push back more, because if Cap is playing frontline, he's not really the Captain America that you want on your team. So value isn't something that just is shown on the stat sheet. It's more so like something that you're overcoming as a team, So I respect that. That's very true.
100%. And you said it perfectly. Another point, ranked inflation, as we have all talked about and know, right? I don't know if many of you thought, but I thought when we had the placement holding for ranked, I thought they were going to reset everybody to 0, right? And then by default, and then replacements would just automatically set you within a certain bracket right off the rip, and then we would just go from there. But instead, it was you stayed at, I think, isn't it you stay at your current rank or whatever your current rank was, and then it placeholds you lower or higher off that current rank, I think how it goes. And that didn't solve the problem. That just made it worse. Well, the relativity of it being worse remained. right? Because we still have the factor of that there are players who are still within their rank, within the rank that they're not supposed to be in, right? Due to whatever the case may be. A lot of times it's going to be off of the current system of ranked in general, how you can basically just continue playing and you'll get to the rank that you deserve or that you'll get eventually, not deserve. And that's problematic, I think. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's too late for NetEase to redo that, maybe, and do a full ranked reset. And it's going to get a lot of people angry, but it is something that they can think about if they haven't
It's
already.
definitely going to take an off season to do or to really implement, because it's either they do minimal changes on the patch notes, which they've done plenty of times, and spend most of their focus kind of like looking at that to implement for another big season, you know? And it's either they take a season and a half to implement it by taking, you know, breaks in each, but get it prepped for a main focal point season. So I think that would be fire too. But nah, man, good points. Good points, my boy. Okay. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you.
Yo, real.
Talk to me, Twin.
Yeah, so I was wondering if you're gonna probably do like this again, like I don't know, per season. So you're gonna probably, I guess, like grab everybody.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like per big season, like 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in between the half season gives us because you got to play the half seasons in between to kind of get to that point to see how you feel, you know, and then kind of maybe in between the half season closer to the next season, do another one if you guys think that would be a good idea.
New video series, nah, saying.
Yeah, bro. I think it'll be really, really dope. I think I like that. All right. Yeah, man. But bro, seriously, thank you guys. I know I'm gonna come back around probably like later. I'm gonna message some more people. But other than that, bro, like I truly do appreciate y'all for coming through and giving me your time, because I thought it was fire. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good listen. It was pretty chill.
W takes, no trolls, love it.
Hulk is never gonna get banned. I mean, never gonna get buffed, bro. Let it go.
That's crazy,
Let
bro.
It go, bro. You're fighting for a green nigga, bro.
No,
let it go,
and I
bro.
will continue to.
Let it go, bro. You're fighting for him for no reason, bro. Let it go, bro.
It's a strong reason, brother.
Let it go, bro.
Got my life matter.
I'm lying on you in the video. I
don't care.
Lie on you in the video.
I'm gonna go in the comments and you a liar.
I'm gonna put your name and literally say how you said Hulk should get nerfed. 100%.
I don't give a fuck. And when people click on my profile and see that Hulk's my most played character, do what?
Bro. And then I'm gonna click on your profile and I'm gonna edit it out. I'm gonna put Wanda.
Wow.
Oh,
that's diabolical, bro. What the fuck?
I will never main a DPS. Don't disrespect me.
I'm putting it there, but you've never been a tank main ever, bro.
Yeah,
ever.
I play tank more than you.
Bro, that's so cap, Trey.
Nah.
Trey, I was talking to you just like a month ago. You
support,
was on
brother.
Apex.
You play support, brother. You play support, brother.
Okay, good point. I was on support.